Okay, I'm gonna kind of tell you what my take on all this is, what I've learned in the last 2 years, and maybe that will encourage more people to get involved in this field. We need serious people involved in this field. It's got to be investigated. I mean, we are so close. I am so close to discovering so much about what's going on in this other world, this other realm, and I'm trying really hard to prove it. But we need more people to get seriously involved so that we can bring this out so that the general public will understand it and they'll go, oh, okay, yeah, now I get it. But let me tell you what I've learned in the last 2 years. I've learned that everything that's going on here is going on around me all the time. It's not just after midnight, it's not just at night, it's not at 3 a.m., it's all the time. I have plenty of videos where I had things growling at me at 10 o'clock in the morning. The sun's up, it's a beautiful day, and I've had all kinds of captures of sound, video. I mean, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. So, really, to be pragmatic toward all this, you have to understand that these things, these beings, these former humans, these non human spirits, these evil, negative entities are really, hey, quit it, are really being inclusionary with trying to include me. They're talking to me. They're talking about me. They're talking to each other. They're talking about each other. Um, and it never stops. It's going all the time. And I'll give you a really good example of what I think I've come to learn after 2 years. There's a very thin veil in between this plane and that plane, this reality and that reality. And the best example I can give you is I used to live in Hawaii. I lived on the Big Island and I lived on Oahu. But when I lived back on the Big Island, there was a beach that I used to go to called Magic Sands Beach. Sorry about that. I had to yell at my dog. She's making noise. There was a beach I used to go to called Magic Sands Beach. And I remember one day I was standing in the water and I was looking down. The water was crystal clear. And I couldn't really see anything. I saw shades of different colors, and but I couldn't really make any detail out. So I put on some goggles and I stuck my head down just through the top of the water, and I looked, and there was fish, and there was coral, and there was plant life, and it was busy, and there was all kinds of stuff going on. And then I pulled my head back out, and I'm standing there, and there's nobody there. Really nothing spectacular going on. And then I stick my head back through again, and there it is again. And it's all different kind of colors and activity and movement. And it was a whole nother world that I was in just for the moment. Like when I do my EVP sessions, I'm in that world just for that moment. And I can get, what they say to me. Sometimes I can get video, sometimes I can get picture, but getting pictures and video is really rare. It doesn't happen all that much. I've gotten quite a few here, but I didn't get them every day. Um, it's like you look in the water and you don't see a whale, but then you pick your head up and the whale jumps up out of the water and hits the surface of the water. It's that brief, rare moment where you get to see the whale out of his habitat, up out of his natural habitat, out of his world, and breaks into yours just for a moment. That's what it's like. And I know a lot of people aren't going to understand that, but if you haven't experienced the paranormal, you're not going to understand it. You have to experience it. Um, Now, I'm not sure that people have to be open and have to be psychic to a certain degree to be able to be receptive to this stuff. I think anybody can hear it, um, but you got to listen close for it because very rarely do they jump out and yell at you unless I'm getting growled at or you know, I mean, an extraordinary circumstance. I don't have to listen too hard. Um, so I think that yes, I think anybody can hear it. I think anybody can see it, but I do think it helps to make yourself receptive to that. The only problem is once they know that you're receptive, they're not going to leave you alone. They're going to come at you 24 hours a day. Some of them need help. Some of them don't realize they've died. Which is what I would probably be doing. I think, if you died and you didn't realize you died, if you died in your sleep, if you died suddenly, somebody came up behind you and shot you in the head and you instantly were killed, you may not realize that you died. But if you can see people around you that are living, you're going to come up to them and you're going to ask them for help because you're not going to understand what's going on right away. I think that's what's been going on here. When I first started doing this, I got help, 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 help us, help me, help, help, help all the time. And I think those people didn't realize that they had died and they were wondering what was going on. And so they were asking me, hey, help us. And it's like I wasn't hearing them or I was recording them, but I wasn't doing anything. So their next step was to make a noise, bang on something, stomp on my floor, bang on this table, which has been banged on a few times. And if that doesn't work, then they're going to go up and they're going to touch me, and they're going to say, "Hey, hey, hey," and I think that's what's going on. Now I haven't gotten any of those in a while, but I think a lot of them were crossed over when Question James came by. But I really think that if we can figure out a way to punch through that veil, put on some goggles, and put our head through the water, I wonder what we would see. I'll talk to you later.